I'm not the kind of guy who gets paranoid easily. My name's Mason. I'm 38, run my own auto shop just outside Lexington, Kentucky. Been married to Emma for 7 years. No kids, just us in a quiet house with a wraparound porch we worked on together. She teaches 3rd grade at the local elementary school, the kind of woman everybody likes. Friendly, sweet, soft-spoken. You'd think she wouldn't hurt a fly. Maybe that's why I ignored the signs at first. It started with something simple. I got home one night, later than usual, after dealing with a customer's truck that needed a full brake replacement. I was wiped. Emma was already in bed, but not asleep. Her phone lit up the room like a damn lighthouse, and she snapped it down real fast when I walked in. Said it was just school stuff. Nothing important. She'd never done that before. I didn't say anything right away. Didn't want to be that guy who makes something out of nothing. But then I noticed she was spending more time on her appearance. Not in a dramatic way, just subtle changes. Different perfume, painted nails more often, new underwear that didn't look like anything I'd seen before. Still, I chalked it up to maybe she just wanted to feel good about herself. We all go through phases. But here's the part that didn't sit right with me. She started asking about Liam, my younger brother, and not in the usual, casual way. She asked when he'd be back from Nashville, what kind of work he was doing now, if he'd settled down. Asked if he ever mentioned her, which struck me as weird, considering they'd never been close. Not really. Liam was 10 years younger than me. Wild, always traveling, bouncing between freelance photography gigs and bar work. The kind of guy who didn't stay in one place long. They barely interacted unless we were all together for a holiday. So why was she so damn curious about him? Then I remembered something from back in April, when Liam stayed with us for 3 nights after losing an Airbnb rental. I didn't think much of it at the time. He crashed in the guest room, we grabbed some beers, watched a game, caught up. Emma cooked him dinner like she always does with guests. But now, thinking back, she laughed a little too hard at his jokes. She sat next to him when I got up, and one morning I found her coffee cup in the guest room. She said she went in to open the blinds. That was 4 months ago. Now, I can't stop thinking about it. I didn't want to believe my own wife would betray me, let alone with my own brother. But the pieces were starting to line up, and they painted a picture I didn't want to see. I couldn't just sit on it anymore. So I started watching, quietly, waiting, not for fireworks, just confirmation, something. I wasn't proud of what I did next. But I also wasn't going to sit around like a fool, waiting for the truth to slap me in the face. I needed to know. So that weekend, while Emma was out shopping with a friend, I installed a GPS tracker under her car. Nothing fancy. Just a cheap magnetic one that synced to an app on my phone. I told myself it was temporary. Just enough to put the suspicions to rest. Either I'd feel ashamed for not trusting her, or, well, I'd find something I couldn't ignore. A few days passed. Nothing strange. She went to school, came home, made dinner, graded papers. We had a normal week. She even left her phone out in the open again, like she used to. Maybe she was trying to make a point. Or maybe she was just getting better at hiding things. Then Friday hit. She told me there was a teacher development conference in Bowling Green, about 2 hours away. Overnight stay. She left after breakfast with a suitcase and a kiss on the cheek. The GPS said otherwise. About 3 hours later, I checked her location. She wasn't in Bowling Green. She was on I-65, heading south, toward Nashville. My stomach dropped. I waited a bit, told myself maybe she was carpooling with someone. Maybe the venue changed. But by 3 p.m., she was deep into the city. Not just passing through. She parked in East Nashville, a residential neighborhood. I zoomed in. Liam's Street. The app pinged her location 3 times that night. Once at a local Thai place nearby. Once at a liquor store. And finally, back at his apartment. She stayed there until 10 a.m. the next morning. No hotel, no school conference, just Liam. I didn't sleep that night. Just stared at my phone in the dark, watching the little blinking dot that used to mean home. I didn't tell her I knew. When she got back on Saturday evening, she came in with fast food and a brochure in her bag from a fake conference. She kissed me, acted tired, and even complained about how boring it was. I played dumb, smiled, let her talk. That's when I realized something had changed in me. The shock wasn't there anymore. Just cold, quiet anger. A slow burn I'd never felt before. My own brother. She was laughing at me. Both of them were. Pretending like nothing was wrong. But I knew. I had proof now. I just didn't know what to do with it yet. Part of me wanted to confront them right then and there. Explode. Flip the whole damn table. But I didn't. Not yet. I wanted more than the truth. I wanted control. And I was going to take it all from her, piece by piece, without her ever seeing it coming. The next morning, I sat on the porch with a cup of black coffee and a plan. Liam's birthday was coming up in a few days, August 17th. Emma had mentioned it last week in passing, like it was no big deal. But I knew better now. The way she said it, soft and almost sweet. Not like someone talking about their brother-in-law. More like someone talking about someone they missed. So I texted Liam that afternoon. Hey, thinking of doing a little family dinner for your birthday. Just the three of us. Nothing fancy. Steaks, beer, maybe a cake. You in? He replied 15 minutes later. Yeah man, that sounds great. Been a while since we did anything like that. Right, been a while since you stabbed me in the back, too. I ran it by Emma later that night while she was folding laundry. She hesitated for a split second, barely noticeable, but I caught it. Sure, she said, that'd be nice. I nodded and said nothing more. 2 nights later, they both sat at my table. I grilled the steaks just the way Liam liked them, cracked open cold beers, and even picked up one of those overpriced chocolate cakes from the bakery Emma used to love. The three of us sat there like nothing was wrong. Laughing, drinking, telling stories. It made me sick. Every time Liam talked, Emma looked at him a second too long. Every time she laughed, her hand brushed the edge of the table where his rested. And once, just once, I caught her glancing at him when he wasn't looking, and the look in her eyes wasn't something a married woman should ever direct at her husband's brother. I let them have their night. I even raised a glass and toasted Liam's birthday like a fool. Then I took a picture. I told them it was just for memories, but really, I wanted a clean, smiling shot of both of them. Something that would look perfect when the truth finally came out. The image of them frozen mid-laugh while I sat across the table with a camera in my hand and rage boiling in my blood. Later that night, after they'd gone their separate ways, Emma slid into bed next to me like nothing happened. She smelled like wine and lotion, and when she wrapped her arms around me and kissed my neck, I didn't stop her. But I didn't kiss her back. I let her believe everything was fine. Because soon, it wouldn't be. The next day, I met with a lawyer. And that's when I found out just how deep I could cut, not just emotionally, but financially, legally, permanently. Emma didn't know it yet, but I was about to gut the entire illusion she'd built, and take everything with me on the way out. The lawyer I met was a woman named Carla Rollins, sharp as a blade, calm as a surgeon. She didn't blink when I told her what I suspected. She just asked, "Do you want a clean break, or do you want to bury her?" I said I wanted her gone. But I also wanted her to feel it. Carla leaned back, looked over her glasses, and said, "Then you need proof. Hard, physical evidence. Phone records, location data, anything that makes it undeniable. We play this right, and we can take everything." That's all I needed to hear. I went home and got to work. I already had the GPS logs. That was solid, but now I needed something more personal, something that couldn't be denied or explained away. I installed a small camera in our living room, tucked inside a dusty corner of the bookshelf. Another one went into the spare room vent, facing the door. I even added a voice-activated recorder under the driver's seat of her car. Then I did something I never thought I'd do in my life. I cloned her phone. Took me 2 hours to set it up. She left it charging in the kitchen while she showered. I copied the SIM card to a blank device I picked up earlier from a guy on Craigslist. Once it was done, I could see everything: messages, location pings, call logs. Not real time, but enough of a shadow to know what was going on. That night, as she slept beside me, I went through the last 2 weeks of her texts. And that's when I found it. A thread labeled just L. Liam. It wasn't even well hidden. Maybe she didn't think I'd ever look. Or maybe she just didn't care anymore. They'd been talking every day since early July. Always short texts, always careful with words, nothing obvious. But a few messages slipped through. L. You still thinking about that night? Her. I can't stop. It shouldn't have happened, but I Tea was perfect. And then, her. He has no idea. He's planning our anniversary trip. I feel so guilty. L. We both knew what we were doing. Don't act like you didn't want it. Her. I did. I still do. I stared at the screen for a long time, heart thudding so hard I thought it might break my ribs. I'd expected some flirting, maybe an emotional affair. I didn't expect confirmation that they'd slept together. And it wasn't just once. They talked about the Airbnb he rented when he visited friends in Louisville. They talked about what excuses she used. And they talked about me. L. You're too good for him. He doesn't see you the way I do. Her. He's a good man. I hate what I'm doing to him. L. Then stop lying to yourself. You're already mine. That one hit the hardest. I sat there for an hour reading every message. The fake names in her phone. The little plans they made. A second life she built in the shadows of mine. I looked over at her sleeping. Her back was turned, same way it had been for months now. I didn't feel hate. I felt clarity. She had already left me, emotionally, morally, she was gone. She just didn't have the courage to say it out loud. So I was going to say it for her. I was going to take it all, the house, the savings, the shop, everything we'd built. I'd leave her with the one thing she'd chosen over me. Liam, let's see how long that lasts once the smoke clears. I waited 3 more weeks. Not because I was unsure. Not because I forgave her. I waited because revenge, real, clean revenge, takes patience. I wanted her comfortable. I wanted her to believe I didn't know. That she was still fooling me. So I played the part, good husband, predictable Mason. I made her coffee every morning. Took her out for breakfast on Saturdays. Even bought her tickets to a play she'd been talking about for months. The more I smiled, the more at ease she got. And the more careless. She left her phone out again. Didn't bother hiding her texts anymore. I guess she thought I was just some oblivious, harmless guy too busy changing oil and fixing engines to notice his world was burning. But I noticed, and I was collecting everything. Screenshots, timestamps, voicemail transcripts, GPS logs. I had more than enough for my lawyer now. Hell, I probably had enough to burn both of them in family court and criminal court if I wanted. But I wasn't done. I wanted her to feel what I felt. Confusion, panic, betrayal. The way it crawls through your chest in the middle of the night when the person next to you feels like a stranger. So I made my move. One Monday, while she was teaching, I called the bank. I had her removed from our joint checking and savings accounts, both of them. I rerouted all the shop's deposits to a new business account under my name only. Then I transferred the balance from the house escrow fund to a separate legal trust Carla had set up in my name. It was all legal, all clean. She wouldn't even know until her card declined. That night, I pretended nothing happened. Let her pick the movie. Let her steal the last slice of pizza. I even kissed her goodnight. The next morning, the first domino fell. Around 11 a.m., I got a text from her. Hey, did you use the checking account? My card got declined at lunch. I didn't respond. 5 minutes later, can you check with the bank? Something's wrong. I had to borrow from a coworker. I let that one sit too. By the time I got home, she was pacing the kitchen. Mason, something's going on. The bank won't let me log in. They said I'm not listed on the account anymore. What the hell is that supposed to mean? I didn't flinch, just set my keys on the table, looked her in the eyes, and said it calm and quiet. It means I know. She froze. Know what? I pulled out the printed phone logs. A photo of her car parked outside Liam's place. A copy of the GPS report. A screenshot of her text where she said she still wanted him. Then I handed her the last piece. A letter from Carla outlining the divorce filing. Her face went pale. Mason, wait, I can explain. No, I said, you don't get to explain anything. You made your choice. This is just me living with it. She sat down hard, eyes wide, mouth open like she'd been punched. And then I gave her the final blow. I'm keeping the house. You'll get the divorce notice this week. The shop stays mine. The savings are locked. You can keep your car and your guilt. And him. If he even wants you once I'm done telling him what else I know. She looked like she wanted to cry. But I didn't care. Because for the first time in months, I could finally breathe. 2 days after I dropped the divorce notice on Emma, I called Liam. I didn't text. I didn't leave a voicemail. I called him, Just like I used to when we were kids and one of us got in trouble. Like when I found out he crashed my truck in high school and lied about it. He picked up on the third ring. "Hey man," he said. Like nothing had happened. "What's up?" I paused. "I know." Silence. Not the kind that's quiet, the kind that rings in your ear. He didn't even try to deny it. Didn't ask, "Know what?" or pretend he didn't understand. He just said, "How long?" "Long enough." More silence. Then he muttered, "I didn't mean for it to happen like this." That line. That damn line. "You didn't mean to?" I said, laughing bitterly. "You didn't mean to sleep with my wife? You didn't mean to lie to my face? Stay in my house, eat my food, smile at me over dinner while you were screwing her behind my back?" Maze. Listen, it started when I stayed with you back in April. I didn't plan it. We were drinking and talking late one night and... You think that makes it better? He didn't answer. "Let me ask you something, Liam. Did it ever cross your mind that maybe you were sleeping with someone else's entire life? Because that's what she was. My wife, my home, my future, and you treated it like a quick fix for your lonely little existence." Mason, I'm sorry. I could tell he meant it. But the thing is, some things don't get fixed by sorry. "You're not my brother anymore," I said, plain and cold. "You're just a guy the first used to know." He sniffed. Maybe he was crying, I don't know, and I didn't care. "I'm selling the house," I continued. "Don't worry, I'll make sure Emma's name is taken off it. She'll get her half once it's finalized. After that, I don't expect I'll ever see either of you again." "Wait, are you serious? You're leaving town?" "I'm done living in a place full of ghosts." I meant it. I'd already talked to Carla about buying out Emma's equity in the house, flipping it, and moving a few counties over. Far enough away to start fresh. I'd already found a new property with a garage I could turn into my own shop again. No partners, no shared accounts, no more watching over my shoulder. Liam tried to speak, but I ended the call before he could. I stared at my phone for a long time after that. My brother, the kid I taught how to throw a curveball. The one I stood up for when our old man got too drunk. The one I thought would always have my back. Gone, just like her. But here's the thing. When someone burns the bridge, don't go swimming after the wreckage. Let it sink, and walk away. 2 months later, I stood alone in what used to be our living room. Well, technically it was still mine. The papers had cleared. Emma signed over her half of the house after her lawyer confirmed she wasn't getting anything else. Carla had made sure of that. Her infidelity, the photos, the GPS logs, the messages, all laid out in a nice, brutal package. The judge didn't even blink. She walked away with her car, her clothes, and whatever was left in the savings account before I locked it down. No spousal support, no claim to the shop, nothing else. Liam? Gone too. Word got around fast after I told a few friends what happened. He lost 2 clients from side gigs he picked up in town. One of them was a friend of mine. Said he didn't want a man who screws his brother's wife, fixing his camera equipment. Turns out loyalty still counts for something around here. Emma moved into a small rental on the other side of town. People started looking at her different. Small towns don't gossip the way cities do, they remember. Quietly, permanently. As for me, I didn't go scorched earth on either of them. No Facebook posts, no screaming matches, no drama, just the truth, passed like a stone from hand to hand. And that truth did all the damage I needed. But I had one last move to make. The house sold quick. Market was hot. I didn't even have to list it long. I packed what I wanted. Tools, clothes, some furniture. Left everything else. The pictures, the wall clock she bought on our anniversary, the flower-patterned mugs she liked so much. I tossed the rest in boxes and dropped them off on her porch. Didn't even ring the bell. I left a letter inside one of the boxes. No insults, no guilt trips. Just a few lines. "This isn't revenge. This is peace. I loved you, and you killed that. I trusted you, and you buried it. So now I'm giving myself the only thing you never could, a clean ending." That was it. A week later, I rolled out of town in my truck, towing a trailer with my tools and the Harley I hadn't ridden in years. I settled in a small cabin about an hour east, quiet place, just outside Berea. Found a fixer-upper with a big garage out back. No neighbors on either side. No memories clinging to the walls. Just space. Real space. Sometimes I sit on the porch in the evening with a beer and think about everything that happened. Not with anger. Not anymore. Just awareness. Like touching a scar you forgot was there. Emma texted me once. Just once. I made a mistake. I miss you. I miss us. I never replied. Because the truth is, I don't miss her. I miss the version of her I believed in. The version that loved me. Chose me. But that woman was a story I told myself. And now, I've stopped telling stories. I just live.